This is our prayer conference. And after this prayer conference, there will be an activation of a fresh fire in your life. We are looking at the altar of prayer part 2. We looked at part 1 yesterday. And if you are here yesterday, you should have understood that God has separated, God has a boundary, and He has given man the earth, and He has taken the heaven. So what that means is that we're in control of this earth. Am I speaking to somebody? The altar of prayer, part 2. I will start by saying this. There was a particular group of people called the Moravian Christian. Why are they called the Moravian Christian? Because they live in a place that is called Moravia. And these people, they gathered themselves and they prayed consistently for 100 years. Do you know what it means for people to pray for 100 years? Even when they die, they pass on the culture to the next generation. And these people, they kept on praying for 100 years. Why? What was their prayer point? Their prayer point was, oh Lord, send down your revival fire. Send down your revival fire. We want the souls of men to be recovered from the kingdom of darkness. That was their prayer point. That was what they were praying about. And they prayed it for 100 years, and there was no answer until the 100 years. Am I speaking to somebody? Many people think that prayer is all about praying for your needs. Just pray for your needs and continuously pray for your needs. They don't know that prayer is beyond that. Am I speaking to somebody? Prayer is beyond that. Now, when they prayed for 100 good years, do you know what happened next? One day they were on a boat. They were moving to a particular destination, and John Wesley was inside that boat. John Wesley was inside that boat, and that was where John Wesley encountered God. That was where John Wesley got born again. The man of God that founded Methodist Church. His name was John Wesley. That was how he got born again. And that was how John Wesley went back to England. And he set England on fire. He set England on fire. England became a revival center because there were some group of people called the Moravian Christians that prayed for 100 years. They prayed for 100 years, and that prayer captured a man called John Wesley. And John Wesley went back to England. John Wesley began to preach the gospel. He was preaching the gospel with fire because John Wesley understood from the Moravian Christian that the pathway to revival is a pathway of prayer. That if revival must be birthed in our nation, if revival must be birthed in our community, if revival must be birthed in our town, then we must condemn ourselves and sentence ourselves to prayer. And when he went back to England, he began to pray. He began to pray. He began to pray. As he was praying, he was preaching the gospel. He got to a point that they chased him out of England, and he went to stand in his father's grave. And from there, he was preaching the gospel, and 7,000 people gathered around him. His father's grave became an altar of fire because this man, John Wesley, understood the dimension of prayer. England was given to him because he understood the dimension of prayer. Every man that has born for God and did expert for God, they operated with the economy of prayer. They operated with God's economy of prayer. They stayed in prayer. No matter how long it took, they remained there. Even when they didn't see the answer, they remained there. Because they know that they are a priest unto God. We are a priest unto God. And that was how England born. England born for Jesus. And today that is why you can see that place, a lot of people have an awareness of who Jesus Christ is. Numbers chapter 16 verse 44 to 49. Numbers 16 verse 44 to 49. Please, I need a fast reader.
Verse 44 to 49.
Yes.
And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying,
Get away from among this congregation.
Get away from among this congregation.
That I may consume them in a moment.
And they fell on their faces.
So Moses said to Aaron,
Take a censer and
take a censer
and put fire in it
and
from the
put
altar.
fire in it on the altar.
Put incense on it.
Put incense on it.
And take it quickly to the congregation.
Okay.
And make atonement for them.
And make atonement for them.
For wrath has gone out from the Lord.
For wrath has gone out from the Lord.
The plague has begun.
The plague has begun.
Then Aaron took it as Moses commanded.
And Aaron took it as Moses commanded.
And ran into the midst of the assembly.
And ran into the midst of the assembly.
And already the plague had begun.
And already the plague has begun.
Among the people of Israel.
Among the people of Israel.
So he put in the incense.
Yes.
And made atonement for the people.
And he made atonement for the people.
And he stood between the dead.
And he stood between the dead.
And the living.
And the living.
So the plague was stopped.
Then the plague stopped.
Now those who died in the plague were
that is fine. He said the plague stopped. God released wrath into the camp of the Israelites. But a man called Aaron stood in the gap. That was the same thing that John Wesley did. God might have likely released judgment against England, but a man called John Wesley stood in the gap. And the man began to intercede for that nation, and souls began to come to Christ. Do you know the number of people that go to hell every day? Do you know the number of people that perish every day? Do you know the number of people that die every day? And yet we are still consumed with our own needs. We are not consumed with the need of heaven. We are not consumed with the need of God. People die everywhere. Sam, there is a plague that has been released into this world. Young people are dying. Death does not recognize your age anymore. It doesn't care about how old you are, because a plague has been released. And people are dying up and down. And God is looking for intercessors. People that will stand in the gap like Aaron, that will stand in between the dead and the living, and that will avert the plague. Instead of these people to die and go to hell, because of your intercession, they go to heaven. Because of your intercession, they recognize their sin and they come back to God. Today I was praying and the Lord took me, and I saw myself standing in a very big valley, and I saw an angel standing. The angel was standing, I was standing together with the angel, and the angel said, look. Then I saw a man. This man was properly dressed. He was wearing what we call agbada, black agbada. That was what he was wearing in that vision. And he said, look, I was looking from that place where we were standing, and that place was like a valley, and this man was led. I saw this man being thrown from that place. Then when I looked, I saw that this man began to scare, and I saw this man was entering into fire. Then I opened my eyes, I was scared. And I began to ask the Lord, what do you mean by this? He said, son, this is what is actually happening. And even some of your people in church are actually going to end like this man if they don't turn away from their sin. Am I speaking to somebody? A lot of people are already on their way to hell. But God has sent us as intercessors to say, no, Lord, they can't go to hell. This soul must be saved. No matter what the devil is saying about this soul must be saved. That was that I was standing there with that angel. I was just looking and said, look, and this man, that is our father, it went off, and this man began to scream. And when I looked, I saw that it was a big fire that this man was falling into. And I said, what did I open my? I woke up with fear. I woke up with fear. That was what John Wesley did. He went back to England and he began to intercede. Souls that should have gone to hell, they came into the kingdom of God. Souls that Satan has destined that they will perish, God rescued them because of one man called John Wesley, and because of some group of people that decided to wait on God for 100 years. Prayer is not just all about your needs. Prayer is not before give me my daily bread. It's let your will be done as it is in heaven. Let your will be done as it is in heaven. Before we came to give me my daily bread, he said, let your will be done as it is in heaven. So the first purpose of prayer is the establishment of God's will here on earth. Establishment of God's will in the life of people. The Bible makes me to understand about a man that prayed. What was that man's name? He prayed and interceded until Christ was formed in the life of those people. What's the name of that person? He said that he was an intercessor. He prayed until Christ was formed in the people. God wants us to be like that biblical character, where we will pray until Christ is formed in the people, until the nations begin to see the glory of God, until the nations begin to come to Christ, until the nations begin to bow down to God. Aaron stood in the gap. between the dead and the living. I said, Lord, these people cannot be destroyed. You must do something. He began to intercede. He was not praying for God to give him car. He was not praying for God to give him a house. All he was praying for souls. That souls must be saved. These souls must be saved. They can't just perish like this. Lord, have you forgotten your word over their life? They can't just perish like this. This is the only child of his mother. He cannot just perish like this. This is the only daughter of his mother. She cannot just perish like this. Yes, I know that she's a prostitute, but you died to save her. I know that he's an armed robber, but you died to save him. He can't just end his life like this. He cannot just die like this. Save his soul, oh Lord. Save his soul, oh Lord. That is what an intercessor do. An intercessor cry out. He doesn't just care about his needs. His needs are forgotten. He doesn't even know his needs anymore. All he knows is the needs of God. It is the needs of God that consume his heart. How God's kingdom will be established on earth. How souls will come to Christ. How men will recognize the deity of Jesus Christ. Aaron was a priest. A priest is a cantor. A cantor is a priest who carry a container that is filled with incense and takes it round. A cantor has a censer. When I'm talking about a cantor, I'm talking about a priest. Remember in Revelation chapter 5, he said we are all kings and priests. So every one of us, God has given us the ministry of priesthood. God has given us the ministry of priesthood. So God expects us to always make sacrifice on the altar. And what sacrifice should we make? It's the sacrifice of prayer. A cantor is a priest. He carries a censer or a container that is filled with incense. Throughout the cantor ministry, he continually releases the sweet fragrance and smoke that will fill the sanctuary. You see the cantor, he carries the container 24/7. He's going around the sanctuary. He's making chants. He's making chants. Those chants are actually intercession for the people. And the smoke fills the sanctuary. As God perceives the smoke, God remembers his promises. The cantor priest is always dressed in a royal regalia. And he walks among the people, carrying that instrument of sacrifice. That was exactly what Aaron did. He put on a royal regalia and he took the container that carried the incense and he took it round. And he stood between the dead and what? And the living. And that was how souls were saved. That was how men were saved. The plague in Numbers chapter 16 only stopped when Aaron stood in the gap. It didn't stop until Aaron stood in the gap. That plague will not stop until you stand in the gap. That attack will not stop until you stand in the gap. That nightmare will not stop until you begin to stand in the gap. I can't remember the last time they chased me in my dream. Who bombed you to come and chase me in my dream? Am I speaking to somebody? I can't remember the last time they brought food and put in my mouth in my dream. Where are you coming from and who gave you that power to put that food inside of my mouth? They can't try that because I'm always standing in the gap. I'm always standing there. The more you stand in the gap, the more the fire increases. The more you stand in the gap, the more the fire increases. The fire will not become so mighty that it can burn down the entire world. God is looking for men that will be able to contain his fire. I told you yesterday that God is not limited. It is just men that is just actually the problem. The more you stand in the gap, the more of God's fire that enters inside of you. God wants to restore back his fire into the church so that he can reap a global harvest. There's a global harvest that is actually going on right now. Satan is also reaping. He's also reaping his own global harvest. He's actually sending his agents, sending his people, sending them around the entire world. And you don't know that your name is part of the people that they have sent people to. You don't know that your name, you are inside their hit list. You are inside their hit list. They have sent people against you. They have sent demons against you. They have assigned demons from here to you. And the man that demons have been assigned against him is snoring, sleeping. To pray becomes a difficult task. And there is somebody that they have assigned 7,000 demons. If brother A does not get you, brother B must get you. If brother C does not get you, brother D must get you. Before it gets to 7,000, they know that you'll be exhausted because you don't have prayer altar. But when you have prayer altar, just only fire. The fire will come and consume 7,000 at a time. It consumes 7,000 at a time. You see Christians being overwhelmed. You see them being tired because they lack prayer altar. I went to Futo when I finished ministry. A guy came and met and he said, Apostle, how do you carry all these things? I said, prayer. Prayer. He said, what kind of prayer? I said, long hours prayer. 8 hours, 12 hours. Oh my God. People that are in my house, they know that I'm always inside, I am actually praying. That is when my energy comes from. That is how I carry all this. I have never come to a point that I say I am discouraged. Discouraged of what? What is discouraging me? When what I am actually seeing is actually bigger than it's actually better than what is actually my physical environment. When you see a Christian that is always tired, you should just know that there's no prayer altar. When you see a Christian that is always frustrated, you should just know that there's no prayer altar there. Aaron was a classic definition of what an intercessor is. God wants to restore back the fire. God wants us to burn with his fire. God wants us to carry his fire to communities, to nations. Not just about giving you cars and house. That is just a mundane thing. That was not the least of the problem here. There's a bigger problem here. Souls are dying. That is the bigger problem here. People are dying. That is the bigger problem here. You see how that is an issue? That was not a problem. You see how that is an issue? That was not a problem. All those ones are not problems. There's a bigger problem that heaven. Have you ever wondered why is it that Satan is fighting 24/7? If it's about house and cow, that one is not his business. What is house and cow to me? There's something that Satan is fighting that's making Satan to fight 24/7. The souls of men. The souls of men. That is why Satan is fighting the souls of men. Evangelism you don't do. Why? Because you lack fire. When a generation, when people has refused to stop carrying the Bible, they hide the Bible now because fire is no longer there. Now we are blending things in the church to attract people from the world. When what we can do is there, which is to put fire on the altar. As we continuously put fire on the altar, people we want will respond to the gospel. The gospel that we preach is not just mere, it is a gospel of power. And for power to follow our gospel, we must have a prayer altar. Look at Leviticus chapter 6 verse 13. Leviticus 6:13. Open your Bible to Leviticus 6:13. Yes.
The fire shall always be burning on the altar.
The fire shall always be burning on the altar.
It shall never go out.
Say the fire should not go out. Look at verse 19.
Verse 19.
Yes.
And the Lord spoke to Moses.
And the Lord spoke to Moses saying,
this is the offering of Aaron and his sons.
Okay.
Which they shall offer to the Lord.
Okay, that is fine. Let's focus on verse 13. He said the fire should continuously burn on the altar. And the fire should not go out. The fire on the altar represents prayer. The prayers of the saints. So what the Bible is trying to say, so we should continually stay in prayer. The fire should not go out. We should continually pray. The fire should not go out. We should continually intercede. The fire should not go out. That is why you see that the witches every night they always gather one because they don't want the fire to go out. Every night they gather because they don't want the fire. They have a particular time when they gather and when they finish their gather because they don't want the fire to go out. Look at Revelation chapter 8 verse 3 to 5. Revelation 8 3 to 5. Revelation 8 3 to 5. Revelation chapter 8 verse 3 to 5. If you are there reading, must not be one person that should be reading. Yes.
And another angel came and stood at the altar.
An angel came and stood at the altar.
Having a golden censer.
Remember, he has a golden censer. Okay.
And there was given unto me much incense.
And they were giving unto him much incense.
That he should offer it with the prayers of all the
He
saints.
should offer it with the prayer of all the saints.
Upon the golden altar.
Upon the golden altar.
Which was before the throne.
Which was before the throne. Go on to verse 5.
Verse 4.
Yes.
And the smoke of the incense.
And the smoke of the incense,
Which came with the prayers of the saints.
which came with the prayer of the saints,
Ascended up before God.
it ascended up before God.
Out of the hands of the angel.
Out of the hands of the angel.
And the angel took the censer.
And the angel took the censer
And filled it with fire of the altar.
and filled it with fire on the altar.
And cast it into the earth.
They did not cast it back into the earth.
And there were voices.
And there were voices
And thundering.
and thundering
And lightning.
and lightning
And an earthquake.
and an earthquake. Oh my God. See, can I let me go like this? What goes up will surely come down. As our prayer arise from earth unto heaven, heaven also responds back to us. Now, the Bible says in verse 3 that there's an angel there. That angel is an altar attendant, which we also know as the priest. So in heaven there's an altar. The Bible describes that altar as a golden altar. So even heaven has an altar. And heaven has an altar where fire burns day and night. I'm speaking to someone, and the Bible makes us understand that there's a priest there, an angel there, and this angel, what is his work? He takes the prayer of the saints and he fills the container with the prayer of the saints. And the Bible says that the angel will make sure that smoke goes to the throne room of God. And when it goes to the throne room of God, you will swing it before God, swing it before God, swing our prayers before God, swing our praises before God. Then what will the angel do then? Then the angel will not take that censer back. After our prayer, you swing it in the throne room of God. He will not take that censer back. That censer, then he will not carry fire from the altar. Then he will not fill it into that censer. Then when he fills it in that censer, then he will not throw it down from heaven down to earth. And the Bible says there was a voice, there was an earthquake, there was a lightning, and there was a thunder. There was a thunder. There was a thunder. Those things are actually the signs and wonders that will not begin to happen on earth. So as we begin to pray, the angel carries our prayer. Now in Central Depression Ministry, as we are praying, there's an angel up there standing in a golden altar. That golden altar is the altar of heaven. Then he packs in our prayer in form of an incense. Then he takes it to the throne room of prayer and swings it before God. God will not be perceiving it, perceiving the prayer, perceiving the praise. Then he will begin to remember his promises over the lives of people in Central Liberation. Then God will command him, take the fire from the altar. Then he will pick the fire, fill it inside that censer, then throw it down from heaven. The signs and wonders will begin to happen on earth. People will begin to receive testimony. Barren women will begin to receive their children. Souls will begin to come to God. Revival will begin to take place. Mighty works will begin to happen on earth. Oh, you are not with me, church. Mighty works will begin to happen on earth. Different things will begin to happen on earth because God has responded by throwing down fire. But that will only be possible when there's an earthly watch, earthly communication. When there's a movement here on earth, that is only when the angel will see what he will carry to God. That God will not send back his response to earth. A voice, a lightning, a thunder, and an earthquake. A voice, a lightning, a thunder, and an earthquake. These are signs and wonders. But I want to focus on the lightning. That lightning aspect, I want to focus on that one. He said a voice. A voice, you hear the voice of the Lord. So an answer also comes in form of voice. But an answer also comes in form of lightning. Lightning. Can we look at Job chapter 36, verse 32 to 33? Let us align it with that Revelation chapter 3 to 5.
Job 36,
32 to 33.
Verse 32-33. He covers his hands with lightning
He covers his hands with lightning.
and commands it to strike.
And he commands it to strike.
His thunder declares it.
His thunder declares it.
The cattle also concerning the rising storm.
Yes. He said he gathered his hand with lightning. God covers his hands with lightning. And he sent it forth to strike the mark. He gathers his hand with lightning and he sent it forth to strike the mark. This were the word of Elihu. Elihu was a friend to Job. Am I speaking to somebody? So this word that we just read in Job chapter 36 verse 32 to 33 align with Revelation chapter 8 verse 3 to 5 where he said that and there was lightning. Then in Job 36 to 32 he said he gathers his hand with lightning. So when his hand gathers with lightning, he stretches it for to strike a mark on earth. Now what is the Hebrew word for to strike the mark on earth? There's an Hebrew word that means to strike the mark on earth, which we call paga. Paga is an Hebrew word that describes to strike the mark on earth. Now paga gave us a proper interpretation of what it means to strike the mark on earth. To strike the mark on earth is translated as intercession. It's translated as intercession. So God can only meet needs here on earth when there's actually an intercession. God can only meet needs in the life of people when there's an intercession. If there's no intercession, God cannot strike the mark on earth. Oh my God. God will be limited. God will be limited. As powerful as God is, he can be limited when men are not praying. Have you not seen how people die and sometimes you wonder whether God is not alive? Have you not seen how people fall sick and they are at the point of death and you wonder why God, you wonder is this God really alive? Sometimes you see how people go through things and sometimes you just ask God, are you really existing? Yes, it's existing, but it's limited because there's no intercession. There's no intercession. There's no intercession. That is why you see that a boy of 18 years can just collapse and die and they will tell that it is people. Which people? A boy of 17 years will have diabetes. He just collapse and die and they will say that it's diabetes. With diabetes, it is lack of intercession. If there are people praying, diabetes will disappear. If there are people praying, people will disappear. God's will for our life is not to die young. God's will for our life is not to live a poor life here on earth. God's will for our life is not to live a life of suffering here on earth. But if we are suffering, it is not God's fault. It is actually your fault. God wants you to do something so that He can strike the mark on what? On it. Intercession releases God's brilliant light. It releases God's lightning. When we intercede, God directs His lightning on earth, and His lightning goes after the enemies that are actually troubling us. His lightning goes after the wicked that are actually troubling our life. Anytime we pray, the lightning comes down from heaven. Anytime we intercede, power comes down from heaven. Because as it goes up, it will come down. There will be a response, and the response is fire. Have you not heard, oh God of Elijah, answer me by fire? Without prayer point is not just a prayer, but it is actually a mystery. What actually happened? That anytime you pray, God responds with fire, and that fire comes with lightning. It targets that devil that is chasing after you. It targets that devil that is holding you back. It targets that devil that has held you in captivity for a very long time. If captivity is thriving, it's because men are not praying. Because I have read my Bible from Genesis to Revelation that anytime the children of Israel goes into captivity, they can be there for 20 years, they can be there for 30 years. But the Bible says the moment they cry, God will begin to remember His promises. Oh my God, somebody's not hearing me. Somebody's not hearing me. Somebody's not hearing me. Can you shout fire? The children of Israel were actually in bondage for 430 years. And the Bible makes us understand that when they cried, God remembered His promises with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. He didn't just remember His promises with Abraham. He had a flashback. Intercession gives God a flashback. Oh my God, you are not with me. Intercession a flashback. It makes God to remember your sacrifices. It makes God to remember His word over your life. It makes God to remember His promises over you. God begins to have a flashback on during the season when you intervened in His work. His work was almost collapsing, and you were there to strengthen the work. During the season when the work needed money, you brought out your last card and you said, no, this work must continue, and you put your last card into that work. God begins to remember how you have made sacrifice to make sure that this work is moving forward. Intercession. When as a saint we open our mouth to pray, do you know what comes out from our mouth? Lightly. When as believers, when we open our mouth to pray, do you know what comes out from our mouth? Lightly. When as we begin to pray, the lightning begins to come out from our mouths. It begins to address situations that our eyes cannot see. It begins to deal with situations that we don't even know about. It begins to address all the things that the enemy has planned against our life. Look at 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 1 to 3. Please listen to me. Listen to me. 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 1 to 3.
2 Chronicles chapter 7 says, when Solomon has made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven.
He said the fire. After he finished praying, the next thing that happened was the fire came.
It consumed the burnt offering
It consumed the burnt offering
and the sacrifice.
and the sacrifice.
And the glory of the Lord filled the house.
And the glory of the Lord filled the house.
And the priest could not enter into the house of the
And the
Lord.
priest could not enter into the house of the Lord.
Because the glory of the Lord had filled the Lord's house.
Because the glory of the Lord has filled the Lord's house.
And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down,
When the children of Israel saw how the fire came down,
and the glory of the Lord upon the house,
and the glory of the Lord upon
they
them,
bowed themselves with their faces to the ground.
that is fine. You see, anytime the fire comes, it is accompanied with the glory. Anytime the fire comes, the glory was accompanied. The fire does not just come, it comes with the glory. See, oh my God, when you see a Christian that his life or her life is filled with glory, it's a sign that fire is there. Because it is actually the fire that generates the glory. It's actually the fire that causes the glory. Anywhere the fire is, the glory is there. I want to conclude with it. I just want to conclude with it. I'm trusting God that after this conference, you will pray non-stop. I'm trusting God that after this conference, prayer will no longer become a difficult thing for you. I am trusting God that after this conference, you will have an encounter with El Gibor. I am still trusting God that after this conference, God will show you who you are. Can we look at Luke chapter 1 verse 8? Let's read verse 8. Let us read that. Luke chapter 1 verse 8.
Luke chapter 1 verse 8.
Yes.
So it was
that
while he was serving as a priest before God.
when he was serving as a priest. Now, serving as a priest means he was praying. That is priesthood. He was praying. Okay, go on.
In the order of his division,
In the order of his division,
according to the custom of the priesthood,
according to the custom of the priesthood,
his lot fell to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord.
come again.
His lot went to burn incense when he went to the temple of the Lord.
Okay, go on.
And the whole multitude of the people was praying outside at the hour of incense.
He was inside. He was burning inside according to his own division, his own rank. Because in the realm of the spirit, there are ranks. Am I speaking to somebody? There are ranks in the realm of every one of us. We are not in the same rank. In the same way it is physically, you know who senior you. You know who you senior. That's the same way it is in the realm of the spirit. There are people that senior you. There are people that you senior. That is why you need to be very careful about the people you speak against. Am I speaking to somebody? There was one man that is in Ukraine. That was how he was running his mouth. A man of God was running his mouth against men of God like Papa Adeboye, men of God like Papa Kumuyi and Koyedeko. He was running his mouth because in Ukraine he was in number one there. But he has forgotten that there is rank. There is rank. run is my. One day Russia came and blew a church. Russia started, it came from here down to this place. Because there's rank, and you must know your rank. It's not everybody that you speak against that God keeps quiet about. Even we as parents, when we see the junior boy or the junior girl insulting the senior one, how do we react? We get angry and we go after that junior one to want what? Spank him. Don't you have respect? Don't you know that is your senior? That is the way it is too in the rest of the many people have received curses upon their life because of who they spoke against. Oh my God, they have received curses, and the curses is a generational one. It's a generational one because when Jesus was talking about the Israel, how they killed the prophet, he told them that the blood of the prophet will be upon their head and upon their children. When you don't have understanding of all this, you speak carelessly and you bring judgment upon your life. You speak carelessly and you just bring regret into your life. When God should be blessing, God is looking for how to judge you. So according to the division, so he was in his own place, the people were in their own place, and the Bible said that the people were praying. He was also offering incense as a prayer. Then what happened next?
And the whole multitude of the people was praying outside at the hour of incense.
Okay.
Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him.
Immediately, an angel of the Lord appeared,
standing on the right side of the altar of incense.
He was standing at the right side of the altar of incense.
And when Zachariah saw him, he was troubled. And fear fell upon him.
That is fine. Now, somebody should just open the Mark chapter 13, verse 5. Now, I want to say something. As Zachariah began to pray, the Bible says an angel appeared. Now, this is the pathway to encounters. When men say that they have seen angels, this was what they did to see angels. When men say they saw Jesus, this was what they did to see Jesus. They were always ministering incense upon the altar, and one day Jesus decided to appear to them. I'm speaking to somebody, and Jesus came and told them what will happen in the future because they were ministering on the altar. They were offering the priesthood incense upon the altar, and that was how Zachariah encountered an angel. Remember, Zachariah has been barren for years. He has been barren for years. When the angel now told him that he will give birth to his son, and his name will be John. This is the way testimony comes. This is the way miracles happen. This is the way healing happens. As you minister consistently on the altar, one day God will appear to you and give you what you are seeking for. Oh, Malika Debrade Sakayaba. He will appear just one day and just give you what you are. It will look like a surprise package. Now, I want to summarize something. Go to that Mark chapter 13 verse 5.
Mark 13 verse 5.
Yes.
And Jesus answering them began to say, take heed that no one deceives you.
Take heed that no one deceives you.
For many will come in my name saying,
okay,
I am he.
Okay.
I will deceive many.
Okay. Go to verse 35.
Verse 35.
Yes.
Watch therefore.
For
you do not know when the master of the house is coming.
You will not know when the master of the house is coming.
In the evening, at midnight,
at
the crowing of the rooster.
Okay.
Or in the morning. Lest coming suddenly.
Yes.
He find you sleeping. And what I say to you.
Yes.
I say to all.
That is why he said, watch therefore. Now, as you pray, as you minister incense, you are watching. The reason why Zachariah was able to see the angel, he was not just praying, he was watching. Watching means to be vigilant. You are alert to pick the signal of the spirits as you are praying. You know, as you pray, you must have a feedback from heaven. Because we saw this in Revelation that as the fire goes on, as the incense goes, the fire comes down in form of a voice. So as you pray, you don't just pray to just talk to God. You pray to also receive a feedback from heaven. So heaven might likely talk to you or tell you one or two things. That is why I say watch. So what means to be vigilant? You don't just pray and your mind is everywhere. You pray and your mind is focused on heaven. To hear what God will tell you, to hear what God will say to you, to see the encounter that God will give to you. You know, many of us, the angels has appeared to us, but we miss the angel. Angels came to us, but we missed the angel. Because during our hours of prayer, we were either watching one Korean movie as we are praying, we are either eating as we are praying, we are either chatting somebody online as we are praying. And when the angel appeared, the angel, I'm going back to heaven. This boy is a very foolish boy. Very, very, very foolish. And you will not know that the angel came. You will not know that he came. Because you were chatting, time that should be communion, you were communion and communion, you were communing here, and you are also communing in this other place. You are talking to God and chatting with men. You are talking to the Spirit and talking to men. And it may let me be your baby boy or your baby girl, and then it's a foolish boy. That you receive spiritual like I you just receive one heavy head and just go I can't continue this way again. And if you didn't know that angel gave me a dirty slap, so you are acting a foolish way. And the angel has come with a package to tell you all the things you have been looking for. The angel came to give you direction, but you just miss it. And as you miss it, it takes another cycle again. Another cycle of time, and that is how it will continue until the day you realize yourself and pay good attention to the things of the Spirit. First Kings 18:32-34 before we pray. First Kings chapter 18, verse 32 to 34.
First Kings 18:32-34.
Yes.
Then with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord.
Then with the stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord.
And he made a trench around the altar.
Remember, he built an altar with the name of the Lord. That is prayer. He built an altar with the name of what? Of the Lord. That is what? Prayer. Okay?
And he made a trench around the altar.
He made a trench around the altar.
Large enough to hold 2 shares of seed.
Okay?
And he put the wood in order.
And he put the wood in order.
Cut the bull in pieces.
Okay?
And laid it on the wood and said,
okay,
fill 4 water pots with water.
Yes.
And pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood.
That is fine. You see that he laid the altar in the name of the Lord. This was between Elijah and the prophet of Baal. Can I tell you something? Your altar determines your spiritual rank. Your altar determines your spiritual strength. Now, why did I say so? We saw that Baal was ruling the whole of Israel. Why? Because the altar was broken down. But a man that understood the technology of altar, he came and he strengthened the altar. When he strengthened the altar, that was the very first time we ever saw that God defeated Baal. But before then, Baal has been defeating God. You are not hearing me. You are not with me. Before Elijah came, Baal has been in charge. I've said this, God is powerful. You know, when it comes to the issue of earth, God can be limited because of man. We saw that 7,000 prophets that should strengthen the altar, they went to hide. 7,000 prophets were in the land. 7,000 Obadiah took them and hide them inside the cave. They will tell Obadiah is back coming. Obadiah said, no, wait. They say, Obadiah, you sure Baal is not coming. These were prophets that carries the power of the Holy Ghost. Baal was making them to be afraid. Why? Because they lack altar. See, our strength, our energy, our build up, all this it comes from the altar of prayer. See, there are 2 things that makes a man to be balanced and to have a balanced body, which is exercise and diet. Exercise and diet. When you do exercise regularly and you eat good food that is needed for the body, it builds up your muscle. It balances your body. Now, how does that relate spiritually? Exercise is fasting. Diet is the word of God. So as we fast and pray, exercise, as we add diet to it, our spiritual muscle is built up. And I tell you, that we can withstand anything. We can withstand anything. So when you see somebody always exercising and eating good diet, that person's body is built up. You see him become very balanced. Likewise spiritually, when you see a man that prays, that fasts, and also study the word diet, you will see that man, he will become very strong on earth. But the 7,000 prophet of God, they lack diet and they lack exercise. And that was why Baal was defeating God until a man that understood the technology of an altar. I have always said something that there's no land that is dry. We only have dry men. There's no land that is dry. Land where is not difficult. We can take over this town for Jesus. I have seen it in my revelation several, and that is what is propelling me. I have seen how God gave us the entire of all these places. Am I speaking to somebody? God gave us all these places. God told me, he said, from that supply, down to a he said, no man of God has been able to take it. I want you to take over this place. Am I speaking to somebody? Say, I want you to take over this place. I said, God, is that what you want me to do? So be it. What do I do? I just exercise myself and I stay on good diet. I exercise myself, I stay on good diet. That's why you can never catch me being cold. I am always on fire. 6 a.m. I am on fire. 12 midnight I am on fire. 1 a.m. I am on fire. 24/7 I am on fire. You wake me up from sleep, I wake up with fire. You wake me up in the afternoon, I wake up with a portion of fire. I am always on fire because I'm always exercising and I'm always on good works. Good diet. That was why Baal was defeating God. But a man that understood the technology of order, he came, he set the order in the name of God. One prophet against 400 prophets. Let's say 400 demons against one prophet. And that was the first time Baal lost his power. That was the very first time that they saw that Baal was powerless. Do you think that people will worship something that is not evidence? If they are worshiping, it means that they are seeing evidence. Am I speaking to somebody? But that was the first time that Baal lost his power. They called on Baal, tear their body, tear their blood. They tear everywhere. They will carry their family member. They tear for Baal. Baal, they didn't know that Baal, they have tied Baal. Prayer has tied Baal. Baal will say that, oh God, where I am now right now, this guy has tied me. There are about 7,000 angels here. I can't come out from it. Sort yourself out. Sort yourself out. So it is 400 versus 1. Now today I can't function. You function now. But 7,000 angels held him hostage. And Elijah came. From morning till night, Baal couldn't respond. But sir, Elijah just called on God. And fire came because there was something that went off from Elijah. My God, I don't know whether I'm talking to somebody. There was something that went up from Elijah. If we must take over territory, we must bring something from here and take it up there and capture the territorial powers. There can be water spirits, we don't care. There can be group of witches, we don't care. What we know is that we are above all. A man that has a prayer altar is above all. It's always burning. It's always burning. See, when you are on fire, when you are always praying, you'll be on fire. And when Satan sees you, sees you as a pillar of fire. Do you know that there are some people that Satan has called meeting in his kingdom and say, see this boy, avoid me, please, so that we can fulfill our plan this month. For 1 year now, we're not being able to have been targeting. Leave him alone now. Leave him alone. Follow another route. Anything that concerns him. You know the last time you went to touch you, you just shout Jesus. All the things we built for 10 years, it collapsed. There's power. There's power in the altar of prayer. That is where our power is. It is battles of order. The stronger your order, the more you have dominion over the affairs you have.